Hi everyone, back today with another video. This is just another one basically to show you some of the changes that have happened with this new patch. So some of our regular gold routines that we've been doing have changed a little bit. So I just thought I'd show you here. I've had a lot of people ask me where am I getting my enchanting mats for to make the things in profit. So basically I make lots of silver level enchants and I am making profit on those. And what I do is when I come across the BOEs and things like that, or the soulbound things when I'm doing my delves and just the world content, I keep those and I disenchant them. Unless they're going to sell, sometimes they do sell for more money than I will get out of the enchants, the disenchanting, and then I just buy enchanting things with them. So that's not the only way I'm doing this, but you can see here that I've got quite a large stockpile. Now, some people have mentioned that the cost of storm dust is quite expensive, and it is. They're not wrong. 12 gold per storm dust is very expensive, but it's not that expensive if you buy it before reset day. So I think the problem people are coming up on is that they're not prepared before reset day. So if you're buying the enchanting mats, it's the day after reset day for me, the second day. So if you're trying to buy the enchanting mats today or even yesterday, they're going to be so much more expensive than if you bought them the day before reset day happened. And reset day is when everything resets. The raid lockouts change, you get your Great Vault piece, PvP lockouts change. They all reset. That's what I mean by reset day. You want to be buying your enchanting materials off the auction house before reset day because that's when they're going to be the cheapest. Ideally, you want to be buying them during the day if you can. So if you can work out some way to buy them at like 2 p.m., if you can do that, somewhere between 2 and probably 4, is when things seem to be the lowest on the auction house the day before, at least for me. So that's when I'm buying the majority of them. But if I'm logged on, because you can see here, I spend a lot of time just putting things on the auction house. I have a lot of things at any one time. I have about 300,000 gold worth of items on the auction house. And when I'm on there, if I see the storm dust and I've got it favorited, if I see it at a cheap price, if it's 10 gold or less, I'm buying it, whether or not I had a lot of it already, because I'm just going to use it. So try to be smart about when you're purchasing it, because the people you're competing with are very likely people who did think about profit margins come reset day. So that it's going to be less competition if we can list it and make 50 gold and enchant as an example, compared to people who have to buy the enchants today and can't list it at profit. So that's what's going on there. So for a little bit there, I was getting my BOEs for disenchanting, and I sold some of them on the auction house, from the cloth farm. So there was a cloth farm in Undermine. It's been nerfed now. It no longer exists. So hopefully some of you got in on that while it was still existing. I made an insane amount of gold while it was going. I bought a token out of it. And you can see here I'm at 1.6 million or something like that, very close to it anyway. And that's after the token. So the gold farm was incredibly lucrative. Somebody mentioned that the BOEs don't always sell well, and they're absolutely right. I'm not a fan of selling transmog in any way, shape, or form. Sometimes BOEs, though, are worth considering, especially at the very beginning of an expansion of a season. Those higher level BOEs, they will sell if you are fast. If you're one of the first load of people selling those BOEs, you will make a lot of gold. I did make a lot of gold. I didn't make 44,000 gold like it was indicating I would. I ended up selling the BOEs for about 20,000 gold, the ones that did sell, and then the rest of them I disenchanted them and got about another 10,000 gold out of that in terms of enchanting mats. So I made a lot of gold just from that one run that I showed you in that video. So the thing there is being fast. So the other thing is there's been a couple of things I was going to make a video on here, for you guys, but what I like to do is I like to triple check things and how much gold they're making. But what I'm realizing is Blizzard is just really fast at nerfing things, especially at the beginning of a season. So like that Undermine Cloth Farm, I did get to make a video on that, but it was nerfed. There was another one where you got like this little, I can't remember what it's called. You got this little thing out of the delve and you could sell it, and it sells for like 30,000 gold. I sold 2 of those. and but now they're warbound. So perhaps I should be making these videos. Let me know in the comments. Do you want me to share these videos for things I'm finding I'm making gold as soon as I find out they're making gold, or do you want me to continue to triple check whether or not these are things that consistently make them? Because I made a lot of gold on these two gold farms, but they have been nerfed. So it was like a time crunch type thing. And I suppose it's hard to know what's going to be nerfed until Blizzard does it. I know a lot of people got caught out holding BOEs from the raid before Blizzard turned them into Warbound. And even people who had them on the auction house got them delisted and then they were Warbound. So there are a lot of changes going on as Blizzard tries to work it out. And if you're very quick with some things, you can make a lot of gold. So let me know in the comments, do you want me to share these gold making things I'm coming across in the beginning of the seasons? As I'm coming across them, even though I haven't done all of the verifying and the triple checking for how much gold these things are making, do you want me to just share them with you right away? And another way to be getting these enchanting materials are delves. I know not everybody's into delves, but not only do you get a lot of gear at the end of delves, especially if you're doing bountiful ones, you've got a pretty good chance there of having a fair bit to disenchant, and then also a piece of gear that's probably pretty good. But also you're getting those under coins, and you can exchange those for the bag, and that bag gives you the materials you need to make enchants. Now, I do a lot of delves. I really love delves. I do a lot of delves, but I am by no means covering my enchanting mats this way. I am still having to buy them off the auction house. It's just another way to kind of increase profits. I'm going to do the delves anyway. I like the delves. I want the gear. I want to be able to do better in my guild raid and things like that. So I'm going to be keeping on continuing to gear up like this. So it's just thinking about what's the best way for you. You can get these BOEs and soulbound things going, questing the world quests or just regular questing. Lots of quests give you pieces to disenchant. So there's also the follower dungeon. I've talked about it quite a lot. You can go check out that video. But there's the follower dungeon you can do for the cloth farm if you're a tailor. If you're a tailor and an enchanter, you can do that cloth farm. You can turn them into pioneer gear and then you can disenchant them. You can get a lot of gear that way. I think though it would be more profitable to sell the raw materials on the auction house and then use that gold to buy the enchanting mats. I think you'll get more that way, but double check it. Whenever you're making things with your enchanter, you definitely want to be using the Vial of Bountiful Seasons and Shatter Essence. You want to be specced into that so you're getting the most resourcefulness and concentration if you've gone in that direction. I'm speccing both concentration and resourcefulness because I do the gold level enchants. They make me lots of gold, but I can only make so many of those a week. Even specced out the way I am, I can only make so many of those a week, but I can make unlimited silver enchants. So being able to get as many resources back on making those silver level enchants as possible is a good way to improve the profit margins by a substantial amount. You will more than make back the gold of that vial. So just make sure you stock up on some. Again, if you can get them before reset day, ideally the day before reset day, before all the prices spike up, because all of the people who weren't prepared before reset day are trying to profit on reset day, and that's when the most gold can be made from those people. So I suppose the idea is don't be the people. Try to be ready the day before if you can. Also, I wanted to mention from a tailoring perspective, so I'm making insane amounts of gold on my enchanter. But from a tailoring perspective, I was making, prior to the season launch, a lot of gold on the Pioneer gear and the accessory gear. That has slowed down substantially. So the accessory gear is still selling, but I'm no longer selling 2 to 3 pieces of each a day. It's more like 2 to 3 pieces of each a week. Now, the Pioneer gear it's a bit funny. So I am selling less of it, but it is selling for more. So I think I'm actually making around the same amount for the Pioneer gear, but with less materials. So I'm probably making more now, just less of them are selling. And it's a lot harder to be the front of the line because it's not selling as fast. So I'm finding before season 2, I was able to just list it all, walk away, come back and go to my mailbox and I'd sold stuff. And that was awesome. But now, because they're selling slowly for such a high price, if you're not the front of the line, you're not selling that gear. So when I'm doing my enchanting flips, I'm showing you a little bit of how I do it here. I'm not as dedicated as I would normally be. I like to do the enchanting selling on the auction house when they sell insanely fast. If I'm not keeping up with it, if I'm struggling to keep up with it, that's the day I really want to be doing the enchant selling. So I'm not putting too much effort into it today. You can still see I made, by the end of this video, 20,000 or 30,000 gold in sales. But when I'm checking the listing there, I'm checking also to see if my pioneer gear and my accessory gear is at the front of the line. Just because if it's not selling. So this is just a quick reminder before you go off into the wild and do your things. Just double check whether or not any of the weekly quests overlap with what you're doing. Like yesterday, I did my raid with my guild. We did our 2 hour raid night, and I forgot to check the quests, and there was a Titan disc quest, and I could have finished it. We did a lot of bosses in that raid. I could have finished that Titan disc quest, and I just didn't pick it up. But it would have been an overlap with what I was doing and gold making. So just double check is there a quest for what you're already doing. Go and check the Sparks of War quest from the PvP guy at the front of Dawn. Go see what area it's in. Can you go do something in that area? Like if you're gonna, I think at the moment it's in Undermine this week. If you're gonna chill in Undermine anyway and do the quests there to unlock the car and all of those other things, just pick up the quest and do it in war mode. Do be mindful though, in war mode, you can get squished by the horde cars. That happened to me. So don't AFK in war mode. It wasn't the best decision I've made today. But yeah, so aside from that, I don't have any problems with war mode. I'm very good at getting squished by the cars in that raid anyway, so it's not particularly a PvP thing. It's a me thing. So just go and see whether or not any of those quests are overlapping. Is there another way for you to make gold with what you're already doing? And quite often those world quests do have an overlap. Like I said, the Titan disc quest, you could do that for the delves, you could do that for your raids. The PvP guy, I only do the Sparks of War, but he has a bunch of ones that you can do in battlegrounds and things like that. So just go and see. So that's really a basic rundown of all of the things I've noticed have changed gold wise with this new season, and some of the things I'm going to be making alterations to in my own gold farms. I'm going to make an updated daily gold routine video. I've made a couple of those in the past where I just show people what I do kind of daily or every second day because I'm not always on what I'm doing to make gold. So just so people can watch that, because I will actually show you how I'm making gold. I mean, I'm showing you a little bit here, but I've done a lot of talking about the other things. I've chosen to do this kind of video today because the gold routine video takes a fair bit to put together, and I'm learning, like I mentioned before, if I don't tell you guys about these things sooner, sometimes you miss out because I just didn't get time to tell you before Blizzard nerfed it. So I'm telling you now, but I will make a follow along video for anybody interested in that as well. You've probably noticed these videos have slowed down a bit. I've got a lot of book releases coming out. I've got one coming out on Tuesday, Accidental Time Travel and Other Poor Life Choices. So that was a lot of fun to write, but it did take a lot of time away from the WoW, the gaming part of it. So I'm just kind of split focused because I'm like a squirrel on my ninth cup of coffee. It's impossible for me to focus on a single thing. So I'm just kind of everywhere all at once. So that's why these videos have slowed down a little bit. But once this book launch happens, I think it'll speed back up again. So thanks for being patient with me during that. I'll put a link in the description for anybody interested. You're probably not. It's completely insane and totally ridiculous, but it was lots of fun. But if you're interested, it's down there. If you found this video helpful, give this video a like or a comment or subscribe if you haven't done that already. It's free for you and it's super helpful for this channel. It helps the algorithm show it to other people who might be interested in paying for their WoW subscription. So I just wanted to give a special thanks to Psycho Teddy, Brit Malaka, and Heretic666. You guys are awesome. Thanks for being my members. I hope you're enjoying the members only content and being able to ask specifically for me to make a video to answer your questions. I hope you're enjoying that and those comments and the priorities. I think that's really come through the last couple of days where I've been just so busy with this book launch. I've only been able to really prioritize answering the member comments and working on the content they're asking for there. So if you want to be part of that group and if you want to be able to request content specific to you to stay in the members content area, give me sign up and leave a comment and I'll go do that for you guys. That's really all for this video. I will make a couple of others to help explain the routines. Like I said, I would. It is coming. It's just going to take. It takes a lot of time in editing to put that video together, but it is coming for anybody interested. I am going to do a stream probably towards the end of this month if anybody's interested in that. I'm thinking it will be on a Saturday. You will probably hear the wild screaming of my children in the background, just so everybody is aware that that's a possibility there. But I'll give you guys a date further closer to the date when I'm going to do that. So that's all for today. Go out into the wild, make lots of gold, and always remember, girls don't play WoW.